Good evening. So today we're going to talk about this pathway, which is called Pentose Phosphate pathway. There's also another name is given for this, which is called hexose monophosphate shunt, and they also call this as a phosphoglutamate pathway. So basically, this is the same pathways, just given different names, and this is one of like one of the oldest pathways that today we're gonna discuss about. And there's a lot of like clinical pathology related to this pathway, and we're gonna talk in detail about how this is how this pathway leads to, and then what is the goal of this pathway. Okay, so let's talk about what is the primary functions of this pathway. Why are we studying this hexose monophosphate pathway? Because remember, we study this pathway, and this pathway doesn't generate any ATP. That's the first thing, primary thing that you need to understand. Okay, with this pathway, what we're doing is that we're going to oxidize electrons, meaning that you're taking electrons from glucose molecules, all right? And also, what you're going to do is you take this electrons from your glucose, and then you're going to oxidize to generate like 5 carbon sugar molecules, which is going to be like your ribulose 5-phosphate, and we'll talk about more about how that is going to happen, right? One of the other things also you have to know is that 30% of glucose in your liver that has been oxidized by this pathway. So that you have to also understand. And one of the most important fundamental of this pathway is to produce this molecule, which I'm going to write it down here for now, NADPH. I'm going to emphasizing on pH, guys. It's not NADH, all right? This is NADPH, and we'll have to talk more about what is the role of this. And also, we also generate this compound called ribose 5-phosphate, which is going to help synthesize nucleic acid, nucleotide. We're gonna do that too. And primarily, a few things you also have to understand is where is this happening? Usually it happens mostly in the liver cells, but you also get to see that actually, let me write this down. The places that are actually going to happen. One of the places that can happen is on the liver cell, right? Liver cell, this pathway, right? Other one is going to be adipose tissue, right? Like testes, the mammary glands, all right? So liver cells, adipose tissue, testes, mammary gland, right? They use a large amount of NADPH, all right? We have to, and we'll talk about as we go further. And also, one more thing you also have to know is we use a lot of this NADPH in erythrocytes too, and we'll talk about it, why we use it there too, to fight against free radicals. That's very, very important. Like fighting against free radicals. And we'll talk about what that means as we go, right? We're also going to talk about what is the role of that in neutrophils, or any sort of leukocytes, neutrophils, phagocytosis cells, like neutrophils and macrophages. What is the role there, right? What is the role in erythrocytes? What is the role in liver cells, right? Why do we use this? Also, this NADPH is also used for this important intracellular mediator, which is nitric oxide. Actually, what happens is nitric oxide. What happens? Nitric oxide is synthesized by this amino acid, which is the positive charged amino acid, which is arginine, which uses oxygens, right? Plus your NADPH, right? And in order to do this, there's something called nitric oxide synthase enzyme is there. It requires to synthesize this nitric oxide, and nitric oxide has a lot of functions. One of the main functions of nitric oxide is a vasodilators, and you have to remember this really, really well. All right. Now, Okay, so now this is just a general concept of why I wanted to emphasize why we are studying this this hexose monophosphate pathway. And guys, primarily this occurs in like cytosols. Okay, this occurs in the cytosols, and as I said, that we don't use NADPH to store for storage reasons or for the for making ATP. All right. So now let's talk about this pathway, and then we'll, as we go forward, we'll go more detail about how this is going to lead into. All right. Okay. Let's go. Okay, like first thing we're going to start with, like let's say start with the glycolysis pathway, right? I'm not going to go very detail about glycolysis because when we talk about glycolysis, we're going to talk about this, right? But quickly talk about what is the role of glycolysis? So whenever the glycolysis come into it, if I talk about this, so let's say this is going to be I'm going to make this as, let's say this is going to be, if I make it, all right, let's make this as like a liver cell, like, all right, if I make this a liver cell compound right here, right? So this is my liver cell right here. So if I make this liver cell, what happens is that this liver cell is gonna, there's a transporter, guys. If you remember, there's a transfer, guys. This transfer is, what is that transfer called? This transfer is called GLOT2, guys. Remember that? GLOT2, right? This is called GLOT2. We take, and remember, the GLOT2 is, like there's always GLOT2 is located in your liver cells, right? So we take the glucose molecule in your liver cell, right? And then when you take the glucose, you have glucose, which is like 6 carbon molecules, right? And from this glucose molecule, we're gonna run the glycolysis, right? From the glucose molecules, I'm gonna write this down, glucose, and what's gonna happen with this? We're gonna use this enzyme called, there's a 2 enzyme, right? But for our reason, we're gonna use the glucokinase. And for the glucokinase, what do we generate? We generate glucose 6-phosphate, right? From the glucose 6-phosphate, obviously this enzyme is going to be my glucokinase right here. And whenever we use glucokinase, so what do? We're going to use ADP, right? So ATP, and then we're going to utilize ATP, and then obviously ADP. And also, guys, there's an important factor. There's let me write this down in this red. Hopefully this works. The magnesium is also required for this, right? And what is the reason for the magnesium is required here? Because it helps with lowering the activation energy, right? So because it's charged molecules, and this is a glucokinase molecule. So what is another compound from here? It's going to be my glucose 6-phosphate, right? With this enzyme called isomerase enzyme here, glucose 6-phosphate isomerase. Right, and then from the fructose 6-phosphate, we're gonna do what? There's a fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, right? I like bisphosphate, and then this is going to be, let's just write down bis and then write down phosphate, and then this is the enzyme that is required. Again, we use your ATP. We're burning down and making ADP, and then obviously there's also required cofactors of magnesium here, right? Now, obviously from the fructose to fructose 1,6-phosphate, there's a rate limiting step for your glycolysis, and that is going to be my what? PFK1, right, guys? And there's also PFK2 and all that stuff, but we're not talking about glycolysis here, right? But these are some of the steps that I want you guys to see. This is fructose 6-phosphate. Then fructose from 6-phosphate, there's a aldolysis enzyme, and then we run into it aldolysis, right? There's aldolysis, right? And we break down this fructose 1,6, and you make DHA. And then there's also going to be a glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, right? That's what you make. From the glyceraldehyde phosphate, guys, what do? You run this pathway, right? You go run this pathway, glyceraldehyde, and then you made 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, then 3-phosphoglycerate, right? Then 2-phosphoglycerate, then you get your phosphopyruvate enol, right? That's what you make, and then you make pyruvate. So you can make all this all the way go down, and then you make the pyruvate here. All right, not running this cycle. Same thing with, you can go from here, or I can just mix Ga3P here, right? And then again I can run into and make what? Pyruvate. All right, guys, this is what it is. This is what usually happening here. But I had to emphasize on this guys. That's why I wanted to emphasize. Okay, let me write this glucose 6-phosphate on the right, because there's importance of this glucose 6-phosphate, and also I'm going to write fructose 6-phosphate with my red colors here. All right, and then obviously I'm going to write glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. And the reason why I'm doing is you'll get to see it why. All right. Now, what happens is like, as you go, like, as you run the glycolysis, first you run the glycolysis because you generate ATP, right? And this is where you're gonna look. That's why you're gonna use a lot of this, you're also going to make a compound here. Actually, in this step, you're gonna make a NAD plus you make NADH as well, right? That's what you make. And this NADH is utilized to in the electron transport chain to generate ATP, right? That's what we do. But what happens is whenever you have a lot of accumulations of energy or ATP, then really what happens is that ATP can, what it does is that this ATP can allosterically inhibit this PFK1, right guys? Remember this. Or like high level of energy, a citrate can inhibit this. So that means if you have a lot of glucose molecules, that means we would not able to actually run this pathway. So once it's get inhibited, what happens? We have to run this pathway some other direction, and that's where the pentose phosphate pathway or hexose monophosphate Shunt pathway comes in, right? Now let's talk about this now. Keep this in mind, right guys, but I'm going to draw the chemical formulas of glucose and how this is going to, what are the compounds that we're going to form by this, right? So now, in generally, like what does a glucose looks like, right? Drawing with this, let me draw with this, with the blue here. So usually like glucose has 6 carbon molecules, right? Let me write down 6 carbon molecules here. So I'm going to write down 6 carbon, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 carbon molecules, right? And obviously glucose is what? C6 with the 6 carbon molecules, and obviously you're going to have what? You're going to have my ketone group with the hydrides into it, right? And then obviously, because if I name this one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So obviously I have this compound right here, right? And then let me just kind of actually name this compound for you guys too. And let me name it in, actually number it in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? So if I do this one, this guys with the 6th compound, I'm going to have CH2OH right here, and let me just write down quickly with the OH here, right? OH here, right? And this is going to be H here, this is going to be H here, right? And then obviously the 3 compound is going to be switch of this glucose, so you'll have OH here, and then this is going to be H here, and this is going to be OH here, and this is going to be H here. Guys, this is a glucose molecule, just one that I did right now. This is a 6 carbon glucose molecule right here, okay? So this is mine. I'm going to write this as a glucose right here. All right? Now, with this pathway, what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to use this enzyme, okay, which is going to be my glucokinase, right? So what I'm going to do, glucokinase is that glucokinase is going to, so let's write down glucokinase, and another name for glucokinase is going to be your hexose of 4 actually. All right, and this glucokinase is obviously going to use ATP right here. So let me make this with the black color again. So he's going to burn some ATP right here and make it to the ADP, right? And then obviously you need a magnesium for that, to lowering activation energy, right? So this glucokinase, what is it? It's going to do a phosphate group into. Once you put a phosphate group into, this glucose would no longer able to actually go away from this GLUT2. You're trapping this glucose. Actually, you're funneling in your liver cells, right? By putting a phosphate group into it. So once I put a phosphate group into it, look, the compounds are going to be exactly the same. Obviously, I'm going to write down in the blue here, right here. So look, I'm again writing in 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 right here, right? And then guys, this color is kind of. So now, if I have that, right? So basically, this guy is going to be with this compounds of this. What am I going to do? I'm going to use like different colors. So like basically with this, you're going to have O and then H right here, right? And then obviously you have CH2. Remember guys, this O right here, right? And then it's going to be look exactly the same thing, OH, but I'm putting in the 6th position. Remember, this is 6 carbon molecule here, right? So exactly, it's going to look exactly like the same thing. You're going to H here, there's going to be OH here, and this is going to be what, guys? H, and this is going to be OH here, there's going to be OH, and this is H and H carbon, right? So now, because if I put a phosphate group into it, guys, once I put a phosphate group into it, what is going to happen is that I'm putting a phosphate group into here. So I'll have PO, all right? And if I do, usually like that's one hydrogen situation, so it'll be PO3 2 minus, right? This is a phosphate group. So I trapped into this. Now this compound is what? My glucose 6-phosphate, all right? This compound is my what? Glucose 6-phosphate, right? Now another thing is what I'm going to do is like, guys, let me write down this OH and I'm going to make a little differently, so because I want you to see this, guys. I want to emphasize on my carbon number 5, and then I want to also emphasize on this one. Because what is it? This is an important enzyme. This is a very, very important, guys, enzyme. This is like one of the most important enzymes of this pathway, right? This enzyme is one of the most important pathway you're going to have to see. This pathway is what? This is, I'm going to write it down in the red, guys, because this is one of the most important pathway. I'm sorry, this kept falling it down. This pathway is called glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. All right, it's going to be, what is going to be? It's going to be glucose 6-phosphate, right? Dehydrogenase enzyme. All right, and what is going to do this glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase enzyme is going to, guys, it's going to block out some hydride from like this glucose 6-phosphate. What does a hydride means? Which basically means is that it's going to block out like 2 atoms from these glucose molecules, and specifically it's going to block out from the carbon number 1, and it's going to block out from the carbon number 5, actually, from the different places, right? So when they block out from the carbon numbers 5 and 1, what is going to happen is that there's this compound called, like, look, it's going to be NADPH plus, guys, right? So with this glucose 6-phosphate, it's going to block out some from here and then from here, right? If they block out from there and there, what's going to turn out to be is going to be, let me just make it this way. So this guy, okay, let me make this coming down here, right? Like this. And then once it's blocked out from here, what's going to be? It's going to come out, and these guys will make it into and come out and give this compounds, which is going to be the very, 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 very important molecules. That is going to be my, I'm going to write it NADP, guys, H plus. That's what it is, it did, right? And this is something that I want you guys to remember, all right, guys? This NADPH, this is very, very important, all right? And this is with the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, all right? So when they did that, right, what does this compound become? So remember, again, this is a 6 carbon molecule. The glucose is a 6 carbon molecule. This is also 6 carbon molecules, right? When they did this, right, there's very, very important things like you get to see it, right? And what is that its compound is going to be? That's something that I want you to remember, right? So that is going to be, once I have that, right, so that's going to give me like something called 6-phospho, right? 6-phospho glucanol, right? So it's going to give me a 6-phospho, all right? 6-phospho, all right, glucanol, glucanol, and this is called delta lactone. That's a heck of a name, but you gotta remember this, all right? Remember, we took some of these things, guys, out. So remember, if I have that again, I'm gonna write 6 carbons here again, because again, this is 6-phosphate and 6 carbon molecule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, and obviously I'm gonna have CH2O, PO3, 2 minus, right? And remember, I took this out, so I have this guys right here, right? I have that guys out. Now, but again, it's a 6 carbon molecules. Nothing is going to change. But what happens, because of removal of this, what happens, this oxygen group is there too, right? So everything else is going to, from here, is going to look exactly the same. Say 1, 2, carbon number 1, H right here, right? There's going to be H here, this is going to be OH here. And then this, I'm going to leave this here. This is H here, this is going to be OH here, and this is going to be H here, right? Remember, guys, we took this guy was lost, right? These electrons were picked out and donated to this, because this is, right, this process right now, this is going through oxidizing, meaning that this went through oxidizing, meaning lost the electrons, okay? And this NADPH is called reducing agent, meaning that these guys can donate the electrons to something else, right? Now, when I have that, I could even make this, and I could draw this O, and I could make it like this with the oxygen to it. Now this compound is called my 6-phosphoglucanol delta lactone, all right? Now, with this compound, what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this, my black marker, my beautiful black marker here. And what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to add some water into it. I'm going to add some water into this compound. When I add water into compound, all right, with the, what is this? With the O and then H, right? And I can make, what is this, proton with that. But there's also important enzyme is located for this one, right? What is that enzyme called? It's called glucanolactonase, right? Glucanol, glucanol, right? Lactonase. This is an enzyme for this. It's called glucanolactose, it's called lactonase, right? And what it does is that, look, because the glucose lactose is going to, it's when you addition the water, it breaks down the water because it is doing oxidizing reaction again. Okay, and it's going to make 6-phosphogluconate. What is going to make? It's going to make 6-phosphogluconate, right? 6-phosphogluconate. Gluconate, that's what it's going to make, right? And again, guys, the 6 carbon molecules. Look, I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and again 6. Nothing changes, right? H2, H2O, PO3, 2 minus, right? And guys, this is going to be what? It's going to be that one, right? Again, it's like 6 carbon molecules. And then remember, now, this at the carbon number, this 5, it gained these protons, so it's going to go back and make this OH right here, right? That's what it's going to be. And then obviously there's going to be H here, this is going to be OH here, this is going to be H here, right? Look, 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3. And then obviously in 3 compounds, what is happening here? We're going to have, this is going to be my H, OH here, this is going to be OH here, and then H. And then with the oxygen, with that, what is going to happen to the oxygen right here? Like that one, right? It's going to have O minus, so the electron charges. So this is another thing you're going to, let me write in the blue one right here, right? Now, like that, right? This is called 6-phosphogluconate enzyme, right? Now, second thing is what I'm going to do is, there's also, it's like, it's a low yield to high yield enzyme. What is this is going to do is that, it's going to make this beautiful compound right here, all right? This is what, and guys, so far it's a 6 carbon molecules, right? And what this guy is going to do is right here, it's called, all right? Okay, let me write it. You know what? So let me put this one. Actually, not right here, but let me bring this down here. All right, and this is this enzyme, right? I want you to remember this enzyme, right? This enzyme is going to do is that this enzyme is called, again, name will tell you, it's called 6-phospho, all right? 6-phosphogluconate, all right? Gluconate. It's 6-phosphogluconate dehydrogenase enzyme, right? All right, it's 6-phosphogluconate dehydrogenase enzyme, right? And what this does is, again, this one also gonna pluck some, like, you know, it's gonna pluck like some hydride too, okay? And then it's gonna pluck out 2 hydride from the 2 carbons, and it's gonna convert NADP plus into NADPH plus. Guys, this is another place we made this, guys, all right? Another place, but there's also one more thing is also happening here. In this position with the 6-phosphogluconate, there's something else happen. What happens is that the decarboxylation happens, meaning we also lose 1 carbon in the form of like carbon dioxide here. So when we lose in the form of 1 carbon, the carbon dioxide, this is called decarboxylation reaction. This is also happening in this reaction, because from this compound, what we're making is we're going to make the 5 compound molecules. All right. So we lose this carbon in the form of the decarboxylation, right? So when we do that, right, guys, when we do that, it's going to be like 5 compounds, right? So when we do that, it's going to be 5 compounds. So basically, the carbon number, like the carbon number 1, everything, because when we lose 1 carbon dioxide, this is going to get what? Like this is going to get like another like CH2OH. So basically what is going to happen is, like, if I draw like my 5 carbon, let me draw because we're losing 1 carbon, right? So I'm going to draw 5 carbons here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 right here, right? So when I do 5 carbons, what's going to happen? Let me make this a little more here, right? Like, follow this arrow, guys. Like, let's make this. Follow this arrow here, right? So when we make this like 5 carbons, so they're obviously purple, right? So when we make 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, right? Again, 5, you're gonna have H2O, PO3, 2 minus right here, right? But remember, when you lose the carboxyl, this is going to be H2OH right here, right? And this is going to be ketone group into it, right? And you're going to have in the carbon, you have OH right here, and you have OH here, and then you have HC and HC, right? So this is what compounds you're going to see this. And this compounds that you guys are seeing right now, this compound, it's called ribulose 5-phosphate, guys. This is that compound called, all right? And so far, like, we have been doing the oxidative pathway, right? Oxidative means what? We're removing the electrons, all right? That's what we've been doing so far. Now, with this U plus 5 phosphate, there's a couple of things that can happen, couple of things we could do. One thing we could do is, all right, one thing we could do is like, we could take this and then there's an enzymes which is going to go this pathway. Let me make this little smaller right here, all right, and then other one can go like different directions, right? So this would be, let me make it right here. So if I make it like this and then make it, one is called, all right, one is called isomers, all right, and what isomers does is like, you know, what isomers meaning is like, you know, it catalyzes, like it basically it catalyzes the structure, all right, and then basically the rearrangement of the bond, like catalyzes this molecule by rearrangement of the bond within this molecule. That's what isomers means, right? Basically means is that they are going to have the same chemical formula, but it's just that because of they will have a special structures, they will change it. That's what it is. Like for example, right now there is a ketone group into it. Now what does ketone looks like? If you remember, ketone is usually if you have your carbon with the double bond with the two methyl group attached into it, right? Methyl is what? Me, or you can just simply say CH3, right? And your aldehyde group is going to be what? Carbon double bond with the one methyl and then with the one hydrogen. That's called aldehyde. So because it's isomer, what is going to happen to these 5 carbon molecules is going to be, what is going to be is like, this guy is going to be basically changed into aldehyde with the isomerase compound. So basically, if you look at the isomers, you follow it, you're going to have like, again, I'm going to make 5 compound. I'm going to make, actually, I've got to make this smaller so you guys can see this, all right? So now, if I make this one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And your 5, you have CH2O, PO3, 2. We haven't removed this, but this is going to change it, right? Because when you isomers, whatever, what is basically going to happen is that you're going to donate some of the carbons, right? And then basically you move 2 H from you remove 2 H from carbon number 1, and then you're just putting in the carbon number 2. That's what you're doing. So because of that, you're going to have, basically you're going to have this one with the aldehyde group into it, correct? That's what it's going to be. And you're going to have OH here, you're going to have OH here, you're going to have OH here, there's going to be H, there's going to be H, this is going to, and this compound, right, we call this compound as what? We call this compound as called, okay, let me write it, where should I write it? Let me write this down. Okay, let me write it down here with the black color. It's called ribose. Ribose 5-phosphate. All right, guys, it's because it's 5. And this ribose is like, look, with this ribose, what can I do with this? I can run purines pathway, right, to generate nucleic acid. That's what I could do, right? Synthesis for nucleic acids, nucleotides, and you know, especially in rapid dividing cells, like for example, in your hair follicle cells, or like your skin cell, or intestinal epithelial cells. You know, these are guys are required for this. Now, let's make this. And now there's another enzyme you can see. This enzyme is called what? This enzyme is called epimerase. All right. And what epimerase does is that, look, you know what is one of the roles of epimerase is like, whatever this compound is, what it does is like, you know, like it changes one chiral center. Okay, it just changes one chiral center, and when you change the chiral center, what happens is that this compound doesn't become enantiomers anymore. What does enantiomers mean? Enantiomer basically means a mirror image of this compound. It's going to look exactly the same thing. So if you put it together, it will look exactly the same. But if you change one chiral center, what happens is that structure doesn't become mirror anymore. It becomes diastomers. All right. Don't want to go to organic chemistry much into it, guys, because you know, if you have taken organic chemistry, you know what I'm talking about. But if not, just trust me right now, because we have to talk about, because we're talking about the access monophosphate pathway, not organic chemistry, all right? So what are going to do, this epimerase is going to change the one chiral center, especially in the carbon number 3, guys. And if you remember carbon, how do we name this? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 here. So the carbon number 3, like if you follow me here, I'm going to make this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Obviously CH2O, PO3, 2 minus, right? And what is going to happen with this? Look, it looks exactly like CH2OH is going to be here, right? And then look, 1, 2, 3, right? And then this is going to be what? Ketone groups again here. But in the my carbon number 3, this is going to get replaced in the chiral center because of the epimers. And what is going to become is going to be, this is going to become OH here, and this is going to be H here, and this is going to be OH. Now this compound, we have a different name is given for this compound, right? And this compound is called xylose, all right? It's called, let me write it down here. It's called xylose, all right? 5-phosphate, all right? It's called xylose with a XYLU, all right? I spelled this correctly. It's called XYLU, right? LU, what is the spelling? LUOSE, all right? It's called that, the xylose 5-phosphate. We did this now. And these are again the 5 carbon molecules, right? And this is very, very important compounds right here. Now, so now with the isomers and epimers, we've broken down into this, right? Now, we have the ribose 5-phosphate and xylose 5-phosphate. You know what we could do? I could combine this to reaction, guys. You know, this is so interesting. I could bring this to Saki here. Like, look, I could bring this guys right here, right? I could bring these guys here and make this compound. Do you know what this compound is going to be? This compound, when I bring this together, right, there's important enzymes that our body have. What is that enzyme called? Let me write down. This is because this is another important enzyme. It's called let me write it down here. It's called transketolase. All right, guys? And this transketolase is very, very important because this transketolase uses some cofactor. What is that cofactor is? This is going to be your TPP, thymine pyrophosphate. Like this is a B1. It's required for this, right? For the B1 is required for this transketolase enzyme to work on, right? And guys, this is very, very important enzyme because remember, if this transketolase is deficiency, then there's important clinical correlation with that. Because with the transketolase deficiency, you have this Wernicke-Korsakoff syndromes is associated with this, all right? With the transketolase enzyme. And this thymine pyrophosphate is required is. And do you guys remember like where else your thymine pyrophosphate is required? Like do you remember like guys running those like your PDH complex, like they often use this tender, loving care for Nancy thing, right? This is another place where you use thymine, right? After the glycolysis and before you enter the citric cycle. Now we're talking citric cycle, there's one more enzyme there. This is called alpha-keto glutarate dehydrogenase enzyme. They also require this thymine pyrophosphate. Where else? Obviously transketolase. And there's one more places. It's in for the maple syrup urine disease, right? You know, they also require this thymine pyrophosphate. That is going to be your branch chain, right? It's going to be branch chained like keto acid, all right? Keto acid dehydrogenases. These 3 compounds, guys, all of them require this TPP, which is thymine pyrophosphate. But one of the exception thing is that this PDH, alpha keto, and branch, they all require. They not only require thymine pyrophosphate, but they also require like FAD plus coenzyme A. Like they require all those like the tender loving care for Nancy, all of those. But this transketolase only requires like thymine pyrophosphate, all right? Like that's what I want you guys to remember this because this is very, very important enzymes right here, all right? Now, what is this transketolase going to do? You know, like transketolase is, it's a beautiful enzyme because you know he likes to donate. You know, he likes to do some kind of charity work, like I do. Like you know, I like to do charity work. All right, and we all should do. So this transketolase is going to donate like some carbons, but from where though? Like that's what we're doing. You know what? Like this ribose 5-phosphate is going to donate. You know, like actually, you know. This ribose 5 is like a donor. Like he's going to donate some with the help of this transketolase to this xylose 5-phosphate. All right. So basic like 2 carbons from here. All right, like 2 carbon, and you're going to be a transketo. Like you know that's what it's going to be. So when you have a transketolase, it's going to donate 2 compounds. What is going to be? Right, look, writing down here, it's going to donate, so it's going to have like what? This is already 5, right? So if you donate like 2 on here, what is going to happen? If it's going to donate 2 on here, I'm going to write this compound right here, okay, guys, because this is going to be 7 here. So what is going to be? I'm going to write 7 here. 1, 2, 3, Okay, you know, let's write it down this a little bit over there, right here, and let's make this, erase this, and then I'm just gonna write 6-phosphogluco, 6-phospho, what is this? Phosphoglucano, right? Delta lactone, right? Sorry for the spelling, guys. Like, check it out. So now, this is interesting. You have 7 carbons. I'm gonna write 1, 2, 3. You know, I'm not liking these markers. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, right? 1. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Obviously, I'm gonna have what? H2O, PO3, 2 minus, guys. Nothing in there. Everything is going to change, everything is going to look exactly the same, but beside we're adding 2 more carbons, and here what is this? There's going to be H here, right? So now, if I do that, what is going to be? This is going to be H2, right? Obviously with the OH right here, right? And the ketone groups into it, and then everything is going to look exactly the same. Look, this was a different thing, right? Remember the chiral center was changed on my carbon number 3. There's going to be OH right here, and there's going to be H here, and we added 2 more carbons right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we added 2 more carbons. So this is going to be OH right here, OH right here, OH right here, right? And then obviously this is going to be HC, HC, and HC, right? Now, this is the 7 carbon molecules, right? And what is the name of this compound? They have given this, right? This is called cellulo, all right? Let me write it down here, all right, guys? It's called this compound right here, all right? With the 7 carbon molecules. It's called cellulo, hep2, that's called HEP, HEPTULOSE, celluloheptulose 7-phosphate. It's a heck of a name, guys, phosphate, right? That's what it's called, this cellulose 7-heptulose, right? Now, then what is going to happen with this guy right here, the ribose 5-phosphate? Right, if it donates, like it was already 5 carbon molecules, if it donates to 2, how many carbons left? It's the 3 carbons going to left, right? So with the 3 carbons left, right, what is going to happen? This is going to be basically, in a poor guy, what's going to happen with the ketone. Okay, I'm drawing the blue color actually. With the blue color, and it's going to be C with the double O, the hydride, and 1, and then CH2O, PO3, 2 minus with the OH, and then H. Guys, do you guys see this like 3 carbon molecule? Where do you guys see this? What is his name? It's called GA3P, glycerolaldehyde 3-phosphate. What can I do with this compound now? I can run the glycolysis from here, guys. It depends on the body demands. You know, I could run the glycolysis to make ATP. You know, I could even use for gluconeogenesis, right? I could do that. So I could do that. You know, that's the one thing I could do. Or what I could do is, you know, I could even combine this together right here, right? So if I do that, let's just look at this, right? Let's make this combine. Let's combine this GA3P and then with the 7-heptulose, right? Look. What is going to make this? Now, if I make it, look, now I'm making this like it, let's make it, all right? Sorry for this little bit off, but I hope you're like with me right now, right? And there's another enzyme here, guys. This is called, let me go and write down in the, actually, let me write it in black for this time. Actually, no, let me write it right. This is called trans-aldolase, right? So what is this going to do? But guys, don't get confused trans-aldolase with the trans-ketolase. They're 2 different things, all right? Trans-aldolase, and you don't want to get confused between like trans-aldolase and trans-ketolase. Trans-aldolase, you know, it's not as much as important as trans-ketolase. You know, trans-ketolase is very, very important because there's a lot of clinical pathology related to this. But trans-aldolase is not as much important as trans-ketolase. So this could be like, oftentimes, you know, this could be a, like, you know, your answer choices, a big distractor, this trans-aldolase, all right? So be careful with that. And this trans-aldolase, what it's going to do is it's going to remove 3 carbons, and it's going to give it to someone else. Again, like, you know, celluloheptulose is a donor right here, right? Because we cannot, there's only 3 carbons left here, you know? We cannot take carbons from here, right? We're going to have to take this from this celluloheptulose, and he's going to donate some electrons. He's going to give 3 carbons to this guy, right? So when he gives 3 carbons to this guy, what is that going to give? If they become 3 carbons, what is that going to become? It's going to become what? It's going to become my fructose 6-phosphate, right? So let me put it this one, fructose 6-phosphate, because it's going to be a little more, actually let me put it down here, fructose 6 compound, right? So if I make it the fructose 6 compound, what is that going to be? Okay, the fructose-6 compound, right? 6 carbons. So you have like 1, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then fructose-6 phosphate, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? Remember, guys, again, CH2O, right? And then PO3, 2 minus, right? And because I donated carbon number, ketones from this group to here, right? What's going to happen? This is going to be my CH2O, right? That's going to be my CH2OH, obviously the ketone group into it right here, right? And then look, what's going to happen? What's going to happen with this fructose-6 phosphate? You're going to have in carbon number 3 is going to be OH right here, and there's going to be H, there's going to be OH here, there's going to be OH here, there's going to be H, and this is going to be H, right? Now this compound is what is that going to be? It is going to be my fructose-6 phosphate compound, right? And what kind of fructose-6 phosphate? Guys, you see the glycol, right? Look, this one I can bring it down here, and then all the way down here. You see this one? Same thing with fructose-6 phosphate. Where is fructose-6 phosphate? Right here, right? And I can have the glycolysis. I can bring all the way these guys and then from the glycolysis I could do that, right? So when I did that, this becomes fructose-6 phosphate, right? But what does this become? It donates 3 carbons. That means how many carbons is left with this one? This guy is carbon left with the 4 carbon, right? So if this guy is left with the 4 carbons, then what is that going to be? Okay, look, C1, 2, 3, and then 4 carbon. Obviously H2O with the PO3, 2 minus, right? And it gained from this one, right? So obviously it's going to have what? This guy right here, right? That's going to have this one, right? So if this is going to happen, then what is going to happen with the carbon number 2, right? Is obviously going to have OH right here, and then OH right here, and this is going to be H here, and this is going to be H. And what is the name of this compound, guys? It's a 4 carbon, right? And then somehow we call them as erythros with a WYR, right? Erythros with RTH, erythros 4-phosphate. All right. Now, this is called erythros 4-phosphate. All right, because this is a 4 carbon molecules, right? Now, what else I can do? All right. Now, this erythros 5-phosphate, right? Obviously, fructose-6 phosphate, I could run the glycolysis with that. But you know, what I could do is like, I remember how we made the ribulose 5-phosphate, and then we made from the ribulose 5-phosphate, we made the ribose 5-phosphate, and then from the we mix the gylose 5-phosphate. You know, I can run hexose monophosphate, and then I can use this gylose 5-phosphate, right? And I can actually combine with my erythros 5-phosphate, okay? So if I combine, I'm just going to write down this gylose, right? Okay, with the gylose, what is this compound? Well, basically, what is the 5 compound? Like with your CH, okay, let me make this a blue color, right? So if I do this, we have, what is this? We have CH2OH, right? And look, what is happening here? Ketone 1, 2, 3, that's 3, 4, and then 5. And what is that? CH2O, PO3, 2 minus, right? And obviously this is going to be my ketone group, right? And this is what OH right here, H, OH right here, and then this is going to be H, right, guys? So if I added this together, right? Look, if I combine this together, watch this. And then with the enzyme, obviously not transaldose, with transketolase again, and obviously with the TPP is required for this, guys. You have to remember this. If I do this one, right, with the gylose 5-phosphate and then transketolase, right, and able to donate 2 carbons, right? But what is this? Is a 4 carbon molecules, right? Let me write this down for here. These are 4 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons, and then this is what is 1, 2, 3, 4. What is this? 5 carbons. So, and the gylose was able to donate 2 carbons to these guys. That means what these guys will become? These guys will become what? Right here. See, if these guys will gain 2 carbons, already 4, it will become fructose-6 phosphate right here, right? And then this guy will lose 2 carbons, right? So what is that going to become? It's going to become C with the double bond O, with the aldehyde with the 1C, where this is going to be OH right here, and this is going to be H, and this is going to be, what is this going to be? Guys, what is this going to be? Guys, it's COHO2 PO3 2 minus, right? What is this? It's going to be glycerolaldehyde 3-phosphate, right? So I wrote it in red. But remember, if I do this, right, now I have this glycerolaldehyde 3-phosphate right here. I have fructose-6 phosphate. See, now I can run this glycolysis pathway. I can make more ATP from this, right? See, this is the whole pathway to generate NADPH and all that stuff, right? See, like there's a very, very beautiful concept. Now, you know what I want you guys to understand is, I'm going to highlight some of the important concepts here. I'm going to use this time I'm going to use a green. You know, guys, like please remember, like this glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase, all right? And this NADH is the first NADH was produced here, okay? And the second NADH was produced, where is this? Right here, with the 6-phosphoglucanol lactone dehydrogenase here, right? And guys, if you guys remember this NADP, there was one place it was produced. And remember, guys, when you're making the fatty acid synthesis, like what happens is that there's a pathway where, you know, from the citrate cycle, like, you know, there's a citrate subtle, and then you go to the cytosol, and then what happens is that citrate gets converted to malate, and from the malate you make pyruvate with this enzyme. Okay, I'm gonna write down here. From this, you see remember this malate guy from the citrate, and then you malate with the pyruvate with the malic enzyme. Guys, do you remember this malic enzyme? And this malic enzyme also made like one NADPH with the NADP plus. Okay, this is also one place where you make we make NADPH, right? And you have to remember this. All right, that's what it is. Now once we are done with this, right, guys? Now, what I want you guys to remember is, like, I want you guys to remember with this 6-phosphate dehydrogenase for now, and with the NADPH, and then also the transketolase, as I said, that, you know, there's a Wernicke-Korsakoff syndromes is associated with the transketolase enzyme deficiency, right? But remember, guys, whenever you have a thiamine deficiency, though, it doesn't always necessarily means that you have a Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome. It could be Barry too, right? So you want to make sure it's you understand this concept really well. Now what we're going to do is, like, we're going to stop this one right here, but then what we're going to do is, like, we're going to talk about the role of NADPH, and we'll talk about the glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenases and what is their role and all that stuff, right? Now, all right, like, so we'll